as well. We'll go through that. We've already set up the Verity Touch Writer over here. This is the accessible unit. And the reason we've done that is to prove a very specific point. I'm only going to set up one of these for you live today, and that's because the way you set them up is identical. Again, the common platform means that you're training your poll workers on one device versus multiple devices. It makes it easier. It streamlines the process from how you deliver it, how you set it up, how the warehouse staff will prepare it. All of that gets streamlined through that common platform. So, again, just to set the stage, this side is the precinct scanning. That side is accessible ballot marking. The first thing that I'll show you is the collapsible ballot box. So this ballot box collapses down to about 6 inches. It is less than 20 pounds. I think it weighs about 17 pounds. Really great. I think the benefits of this are pretty obvious for storage, for transport, and for ease of use, just being able to get it in and out of the polling location. So there are instructions on the side here that people may or may not ever read. That's there for them. But it's really simple to set it up. There's 4 clasps, and then it just expands out. And there is a floor that drops down on the inside, which I'll turn around and show you in just a second. Now, the top of the box is secured with a couple of, actually 3 little bungee cables here to keep it from flapping around while it's in transport. But this just comes over, drops down, and then here is the front with the door here. You notice the floor inside. It does need to be pressed down into place. There are 2 little signs that say press here. I always just step on them, but that locks it into place, essentially securing the cube. And the door has a 5-point locking mechanism that will not engage unless that floor is in place. So anything that a poll worker could forget to do, someone when they're setting it up, they're going to realize pretty quickly, I can't lock it. That's going to be an obvious thing that they need to do. And if they can't get that done, then it'll be easy to just press the box down into place. So we have steel reinforced hinges. Everything overlaps. You'll notice the door overlaps the opening so that there's no entry points like that. And there is a lock and a seal area where we can put the tamper-evident seal on. The unit sits on top in its footprint here. And then there is a sliding lock mechanism that locks and secures the device onto the ballot box. And the way that you lock that and unlock it is with this little push and pull tab inside. So the way that you lock it in place, once you then lock the box itself, there's no way to disengage the device from the top of the ballot box. Any questions about just the overall?
How heavy is it?
The ballot box is about 17 pounds.
How much weight can it hold? You put quite a bit of stuff in the ballot boxes.
So the capacity is 4,000 ballots, and paper's heavy, so it is rated for those 4,000 ballots.
And what about handles for workers carrying it?
Yes, when it's collapsed down, these are the handles that they come together, so you can carry it over.
So no handles while it's.
I don't think they would ever be carrying it without.
Yeah, it would be carried with ballots. And that's a good point. We do have this over here. And this is an optional item that we would recommend. This is where the ballots can fall in, basically a catch bag for the paper ballots once they go into the ballot box. And this does have a lockable, sealable, I should say, zipper and handles on it so that you can carry it around.
What's the capacity of that box?
I'll have to find that out for you. It's not quite the 4,000 capacity, but it holds a lot.
Would you mind doing that again? The ballot box, not that one, but like the actual setup of the collapsible one?
Just to set it up again?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So this is essentially the takeaway portion that I'm doing at this point. And then from below. And then there are some labels in here, just cautioning that there is a pinch point inside there. But then it just collapses down, and then we can flip the sides. So undo the 4 clips for setup, expand it out, start the floor, pushing it down. You don't have to push it all the way at this point. top comes over. Up in the front here, you can see you need to complete the floor. And then you're ready to go. And again, there is a lock and seal there.
What's that bag that's inside the box?
So this is the emergency ballot bin. So if the device were to go down for some reason, federal requirements say that there's a emergency ballot slot, and that's right here on the top. So you could actually have this sealed and closed, and then if it's needed, if the device was damaged in transport or something like that, you could open this up. Voters could put their ballots in here. It's going to keep those unscanned ballots separate from any scanned ballots now.
Right.
Any other questions?
Thank you for doing that again, sorry.
I could do it again.
Maybe in a minute.
There's, if any like little piece on there broke off or anything, are those pieces that we could fix ourselves if we had spare parts, or like the bungee cord or the?
Yeah, so we've done that with, especially some of the larger accounts that we have. They want to keep an inventory of little spare parts and pieces. We definitely want to come in and train you on how to do it, but it's something that we have done, yes. Generally, our process is if something is damaged, there would be a, send it back to our repair depot, we repair it, and send it back. And there's different warranty options and things like that.
What is the dimensions of that, like when it's folded, collapsed?
Off the top of my head, I don't have that. I know we have that in one of our brochures, so we could get you that. I know it's about 6 inches thin, and then it's essentially the same square dimensions when it's folded, because it just collapses together in that regard. But like I said, the footprint on top, matches the bottom of the device. So the device just goes on, lines up, drops in, and then you can, on the inside, lock it in place. So now it is secured to the box and can't be disconnected unless you have access to the inside of the box. So for the device itself, we open up the front latches here, lock the elbow down into place. Notice that the tablet is secured inside. This tablet docks right here and then leads back. The key that you see here is not to lock the compartment. And I'm sorry about over here. Would it help if I move this?
Put it on top of the table would be even better.
On top of what?
The table.
Well,
then
it
how
needs to
would
be
you
on the
reach
ballot
this?
box. Yeah.
Put the box on top of the table.
Oh. Well, then I'm not that tall. So I could try that, but I'll turn it into a funny video. But the unit sits on here, locks into place. This key is not to lock the compartment. There's a storage compartment where we can keep extra paper rolls and the power supply. What this lock is, because we don't want some enterprising voter running off with our tablet, we have to lock it into place with a key right here. So this is really the only key that the poll worker is required to have in order to lock the tablet into place. And now it can't be, removed from its base. When I lock this in place, it's actually hitting a switch on the side of the tablet. More like when the poll worker forgets, because I forget all the time to lock it, if I turn it on without it being locked in place, that's the very first screen that you'll see. It says, please lock the tablet. It doesn't allow you to move on with it in the unlocked state. So again, just a kind of a catch for the things that we know are going to happen because human beings say. So basic power cable that plugs into the back here, and then there is a red power switch on the back of the device. So plug into the back and hit the power switch, and it will start that secure boot process that I mentioned. So what it's doing is securing against the partitioned and secure hard drive to make sure that nothing has changed. All the ones and zeros match that trusted build and install of it. There are security privacy panels that go along the side. I'm going to leave those down for today. They're just a ripstop nylon, lightweight security privacy screen that goes on the side. But I'll leave that so we can all see a little better. But are there any questions about the basic setup? of the scanner.
Why is the screen portable? Is there a reason for that? You have to lock it? Is it just?
It's just part of the compact design so they can tuck away into the case, and be more portable.
And when you get a chance, could we see the privacy screen? I mean, just put it up and take it down. I understand, is there a way to just show it to us?
We have images of them though, so we can check that out. Any other questions?
What's determined the height of it, or is there something that goes wheels underneath or something?
So we do have some options for, we've had some customers that have put wheels to be able to roll it in and out for a multi-day voting period especially. But the main reason for the height design is that it is fully wheelchair accessible. And it meets the reach requirements for ADA compliance. Some of the other systems out there, you may not, someone in a wheelchair may not be able to see the screen or touch the screen or respond to any of the voter messages. And we wanted to make sure that it was still accessible and at the wheelchair. Yes?
When you store that base, you have to store them vertical. How many can you stack on top of each other?
With the ballot box? Generally, they're stored vertical with the handles up. There would be no reason you couldn't put multiples on there. I know with the devices, they can be stored handles up, but you also see these indentions that we can stack them, and our recommendation there is no more than 5 or 6 high when you're stacking the devices. So. Okay. So from a voter perspective, I'm going to continue on talking about the way the majority of people will vote, because they will come in, they will be given a blank ballot. Now remember, this ballot more than likely is going to be printed